at 2020, I want you to really challenge anything that you've done the status quo. And I'm going to give you some stats around a handful of things here that are extremely status quo when it comes to American culture and just culture in general. Okay? Let's just start with a stat here. The average American spends 3 hours and 58 minutes on TV every day. Okay, so it's 2 minutes shy of 4 hours. Okay, let me just make that statement because it actually hurts my brain to think about this. The average American spends almost 4 hours on TV every day. Okay, here's another statistical data point that's actually going to jump out at you. The average time that we spend on social media is 1 hour and 35 minutes. Okay, so we're going to start combining this. Now we're at 4 hours on TV. We'll just round it down to 1.5 hours on social media. We're at 5.5 hours per day between TV and social media. How about this? The average person spends 102 minutes per day on radio. Okay, that's just kind of, again, another huge data set that's just leaping out at me. We're spending 135 minutes on social, we're spending 3 hours and 58 minutes on TV, and we're spending 102 minutes a day on radio. I took the time to just kind of multiply those things out. What does that look like over the course of a year? Get this. Okay, on TV, we're spending 1,460 hours. Okay, or let's just quantify that differently. If you are working a 40-hour work week, you're spending 36.5 work weeks on TV. If you're averaging 1.5 hours on social media, that's 547 hours a year, or 13.68 work weeks. If you're investing 102 minutes a day into radio, which by the way, 97% of Americans say they listen to the radio on their commute. Okay, and a lot of that data point just comes in the commute because the average commute is 45 minutes one way in the United States. So that information makes complete sense to me. But that's 620.5 hours per year, or 15.5 work weeks. Okay, so if we compiled all of that, we're actually investing more time in radio, social media, and TV than we actually are investing in the things that we do in our careers. It's actually over 65 extra work weeks that we could get back if we eliminated those. Now that's an overstatement, okay? And I'm trying to make a really big point here. So the overstatement, I get the fact that, no one's going to reduce their TV time to 0, or it would be almost no one, because they might watch, a show per week with a friend, or they might have a show that they love, one show they love on Netflix that they watch, an hour here or there. I get that. Social media. Look, I believe in having a strong leadership brand on social media. So I've got to be intentional with that time, but I am not going to spend 1 hour and 35 minutes a day. In fact, I limit my time on social to 30 minutes a day. On radio, I eliminate that completely. There's no time on radio that I would spend on radio. I want to give you some ideas around this to just say, what if 2020 is a year where you become Rick Barry-ish in a couple of places? You become a little bit weird. If you get really intentional with your time in this, let's just talk about some ways that you can utilize that time. First of all, you don't have to listen to music in the car. I love what Brian Tracy said back in the 80s. He called radio bubblegum for the ears. You look with audiobooks today, if you use Audible or whatever, Kindle or whatever app you use, if you're taking in podcasts, right? The average book that I read is I listen to. I say read, that's not actually true. I listen to about probably 95 to 98% of all the books that I take in today. But if there's 620 hours that I can capture by not listening to the radio, my average book is somewhere around 6 hours long. I could digest 100 books in a year. Now, I don't digest 100 books in a year, but I digest north of 50. And a lot of people say, I don't understand how you do it. Well, it's because I'm being more intentional with my time. I'm saying no to things that don't matter, to say yes to things that actually do matter, to things that actually allow me to grow and to become more.